All right, traders, watch this video for Wednesday, October 24th. I drew this line in pre-market and said, hey, the SPY is set to open somewhere around and maybe test these lows. And look what it did. I mean, lo and behold, went down and then a very, very strong reversal. It's always a skittish scenario when the market's gapping down below recent lows. I don't like to get involved right away. So I didn't play any morning gap plays. Because I knew I didn't really want to take a trade in the first few minutes. But overall, a decent day, a little bit frustrating because I missed a really, really nice trade this morning. Let's see here. So a couple things I want to show, and then I'm going to get right into the watch list. YECO, I tweeted this very simple setup here. For those of you that weren't in chat, YECO was on Bounce Watch today. This is what it did early. This is the opening 5-minute candle. Popped up to here and just did next to nothing, and all of a sudden the volume was coming in. I called it as a volume Tokyo type play. For those of you in chat, you know what I'm talking about. Right here, before it broke the earlier high of day, and we got a really nice move. I made a quick 500 bucks on it. I still left a bunch on the table, but it's kind of what I said. You can walk away in frustration when nothing's setting up, or you can keep your ass in front of the screens and wait for a setup. And oftentimes it's worth it, right? Another one I called in chat today was this little, see this cup and handle here on TLRY? The pot stocks have already been beaten up huge, and then they gapped down today. Again, I didn't want to trade early, so I just waited for a setup to form. Then it popped up to here and gave this cup and handle. I just called it over 115, and you see it ended up going up much higher than that. And you can see some people in chat took advantage of that as well. I also want to highlight Rolf from Germany. Really impressive. He had 3 good calls today, and this doesn't. The reason I point this out is it's my favorite thing about the chat room. For those of you that aren't in it, or those of you that are and can only pop in whenever, there's almost always somebody to follow in the room. And then just this simple post by Rolf, 360 VT over 360. I'm probably butchering your name. I'm never sure how to pronounce that. And so you kind of had this where it broke its early high here, and then the little kind of intraday cup and handle. There was a seller on the tape at 360. And if you saw that post, you get a quick 15-cent move. I'm not sure what it went to after that, but I mean, that's just a great example of just being in chat. Oftentimes, I'll leave for lunch and come back, and I'll make money off of somebody in the chat room's post. So, I like to try to highlight these every now and then. And that is just it's just so simple, right? A little cup and handle, seller at 360, and a quick, again, 15-cent move. That doesn't seem like much, right? But it is on a $3 and something cent stock. And it just, goes to show that it's almost like somebody's always finding something. What am I watching for tomorrow? All right, so the pot stocks had a nice bounce today. I don't know. This one was like, ACBFF or something. I mean, today is, I think, the first day that it's trading on, I think, the New York Stock Exchange, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can shoot me an email, call me an idiot if I'm wrong. But it, like the other pot stocks, really beaten up and then gapped down today, hitting the 200-day. It did give a couple decent trades in chat today, but it closed well off of its highs, which when I put it on the list, I didn't realize that. I thought it was going to close stronger. Here's the intraday. You see it was doing a really nice push here and then kind of rolled over at the end of the day. Yeah, some of the others did too. So I don't love this one, but I still think if you're going to watch the pot stocks tomorrow, and I do have, well, I'm looking at my list real quick. I don't think I have any others on watch, but I have them on a monitor that I've got a few that I certainly want to keep my eyes on. VT, let's get going. Nice bounce off the 8-day. Go into intraday, you can see that's what I talked about, that call in chat. It ended up going, okay, so it ended up closing pretty strong, and it held support, and it's been a recent high flyer, so I do want to watch it. I'm not in love with it, but it doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. YECO, I already showed you my call today in chat, was right there, right before it broke the early high of day. I saw the volume coming in, I called it in chat, and again, I made a quick 500 bucks off it. It's interesting to me now because yesterday's high was 669 right here. Today's high, 670. So that can't be right. I guess it is. 670. So you kind of have a 2-day, another cup and handle. This looks good over 670, sitting at the 2-day high, right? And that's one of those Chinese stocks that had that crazy move. And that's, if you're wondering the reason why I called it, most of you in chat already know, but because it was already on Bounce Watch, We let the morning chaos subside because the market was so weak this morning. And then we just get a simple Tokyo play, right? Simple Tokyo play right there. And look at the volume coming in. So not all chart setups are complicated. Sometimes it is as simple as having a recent high flyer on a chart and waiting for one of the setups we teach. And that one was actually, I hate to use the phrase, but that one was actually pretty easy money. CNET had this big pop, then the gap up, couple days lower, closed fairly strong today. I want to watch that for a continuation of the bounce tomorrow. RGSE, kind of breaking out of a base and pretty good volume. I'm going to look for a follow-through day in that one tomorrow. CCCL, another China play that had a nice bounce, although closing well off of its highs. Still want to watch it. NDRA, I don't know. This doesn't look like much because it's been almost straight up and then an ugly candle yesterday. But then today, if you look at it on an intraday basis, it really closed kind of strong. Looking at it though, I mean, sometimes I put together these lists and then as I go through the video, I fall out of love with some of these. I don't love this one, but I am going to have it on a chart. It's definitely got great relative volume lately. AUDC broke out today, big breakout and closed very strong. So generally you don't want to look to buy something that's just done this the very next day. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to put it on a chart. It might gap down a little bit and then give me a nice red to green below today's high. So you have a couple catalysts above if that happens. So, but it should be on watch for the next several days. All right, so this AUDC. ESEA, one of those shippers. Most of the shippers gap down, or if not all of them, and it put in kind of a weird day, but I definitely want to watch this tomorrow, maybe back through today's high. NCTY had this gap up on, I guess that would have been Friday, and then sold off all day, sold off again yesterday, and then a nice rebound today, and closed fairly strong. So let's watch that for a follow-through of the bounce, today's bounce tomorrow. PLAG, I hate to have this on watch. This gave a beautiful gap play set up this morning, and I didn't call it, didn't take it because I just, it halted so many times yesterday. I didn't want to get anybody in trouble. It was just a serial halter yesterday. Like I always tweet, if I ever meet the man or woman who came up with the volatility halt rule, I'm kicking him or her in the nuts because it is the dumbest rule ever. But technically all the halts yesterday kept me out of it today because I just didn't want to call it as a morning gap play. You can see that sellers came in right there in the red to green, huge move. I actually did call this once today, and I took it and I made like $190, big deal. But because it came up here through 7, the high of day was all the way up here at 8, but it was kind of flagging below 7. I said, you know what, if this takes out 7, it might just take out this 713 and scare shorts a little bit. Maybe it tests the high of day, and it went from there to right. It went actually through 750. I didn't trade it that well. I got long on the 7 break and made, like I said, $193. But it all adds up. And actually, as I'm talking, in after hours, let's see, this closed at 620. And after hours, this is trading at 685. So if it gaps up tomorrow, I am going to watch it. It is one weird stock and some weird action, but I definitely want to watch it tomorrow. And then TROV, T-R-O-V, goes back on bounce watch. Nice pop here. Took this high out here, and now it's 4 days in a row down. A little bit of a hammer now, a little bit of a bottoming tail. So I want to watch that for a potential bounce tomorrow. I'm not in love with this list, but it's pretty impressive, the SPY, the bounce in the SPY today. And we are seeing some pretty good action in some of these individual names. So we'll be watching this list. We'll also check out the morning gappers and add those to a list. And I actually feel pretty good about trading right now, even though the market gapped down so big today. It had a really nice recovery. We'll glance at the SPY one more time, and you can see a really nice bounce. What's it going to do tomorrow? Don't know, don't care. I'm in cash every night, and what we do is what I've just shown you. We look for individual stocks that are in play stocks and look for low risk setups. So that's all we're going to do, and that's what I do every day. If you're not in the chat room, check that link below. You can get involved with us for only $79, which we've never done before. And I'm getting amazing feedback from the people that say, I've been wanting to try you for years, and now I'm in, and I've never seen another room like this. I'm getting a lot of comments like that, and I'm not making it up because I'm actually getting them in chat, so I do have witnesses. But it is nice to see. And like I've said before, there's some good rooms out there, but there's some terrible ones out there too, and I know what's out there. So if you landed upon one of the advertisers first, you probably got a bad taste in your mouth for trading. because they're not interested in teaching you to trade. They're interested in front running you. So you got to be careful. All right, I'm done babbling. See everybody tomorrow.